Well, hello there. I almost was late because I was adjusting some things and trying to make sure my microphone was okay and I wasn't going to knock something over in the middle of today, and that I can also make sure I can hear all of you and see you as you come in on ARTitude adjustment, which is a class I teach at Florida Grand. I teach fun art, not fine art, and I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to go even farther on talking about the dough bowls that we started yesterday. They're turning out so cute, and I want to, I don't know whether the word is cute or not, but they look good. And I'm going to show you some samples of some things that we're working on. These are from the class the other day. Now, what we're using, as well as the joint compound, which, let me move something around so I can show you what it looks like. If you were here yesterday, you know that this is a 1 gallon can of joint compound. I think this may last me for the rest of my life. So let's get to thinking about joint compound. Projects, y'all. Anyway, I have thought of some, and they're adorable, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Our class the other night was, we had several different sizes of dough bowls, and I'm going to put this one sideways so you can see it. Actually, I think I'll try to turn it so you can see a little bit better. It was a church. The joint compound is inside the dough bowl, and it semi-dries, and then you make a design out of it. So this is one. People were free to make their own designs if they wanted to. If they didn't want the primitive church or the little country church, they could do this or whatever they chose. I give our students a lot of freedom to do different things. This is one that is a dogwood. And so the person that did this probably hasn't finished it, but they can come back and complete it within the next couple of days, because we'll definitely have some time. Now, this is another one that was painted after the texture was done. So these turned out, and then I had a leftover dough bowl, and I thought, well, actually I've got a couple of them, and I'm going to, some of the bowls split, and so I am going to give them new dough bowls, and guess what? They can use more joint compound. So anyway, let me take care of putting our camera so that you can see myself in a little bitty corner, and then you'll be able to see the project without any problem. There. Now, something I was going to show you is that what I'm using on this project are some of the folk art enamels. I usually use folk art enamels when I am doing like glasses or glass projects, and they turn out really good with these enamels. I like them. They're a little bit nicer than some of the acrylics, and they go on real well. But something I noticed a while ago was, here I was painting, you know how you just put a little bit in a plate, and this one, it looks white, but it's a crystal gloss enamel with glitter. But glitter is not easy to see on this. It doesn't really matter. So I put one coat of white on here not necessary because it's just not necessary. And I also used a tool in doing this that I had popsicle sticks the other night and some other little tools that I handed out to carve the design and make texture and to smooth out the dough bowl, the joint compound. But I didn't, let me get some paint going here. While I'm talking to you today, I'm going to be doing my project on here. So I think I'm going to put this light green on here, and I'm going to try to always put it where you can see it instead. This is where I am most of the time, and I notice it after I start looking back at what I've done on my live, and I'll think, oh man, I am really embarrassed. So I try to learn something just about every time I'm on a live. It works. Sometimes I've learned the stuff, y'all. So anyway, this is a good project too for a classroom. It's also a good gift to give. And like I say, if you run into these glitter, it's a very fine glitter, so might be something you want to consider. I want something that's very light as my background. So I'm just going to mix some white with this, and we'll hope it's light enough. I didn't have anything as light as this. So I've got kind of a wreath going on. Yeah, this is fine. And when I put the final coat on here, I'm going to, hey, hello, I wish I could be with y'all. You're having a good time today. That's my daughter and all my grandchildren saying hi. Hey, Pam. And I'm glad y'all are here. So this dough bowl will have special meaning to our family this Thanksgiving. Yeah. And so that's what I'm doing today, is getting it ready. And hopefully, okay, my daughter's probably shedding a tear right now because she knows how meaningful this word would be for our family. And I noticed if you try to work with this particular medium, like the joint compound, I need a little bit more white. I noticed oh, I forgot to do something. Oh, I'll do it in a minute. We have some people that are really getting ready for Thanksgiving because the people who are here usually are not here. So this is kind of a crazy week, and I'll go along with that. And we're trying to get ready to leave to go out of town tomorrow. And it's a difficult thing. On the way over here, I met a lady with this gigantic Schnauzer dog. I've never seen one this big. It was like over 100 pounds. It used to be a show dog, and someone has shown this dog in Westchester, New York, at the famous dog show. So I talked to her for a bit, and she was telling me about, I don't know how people pull dogs that heavy around, or actually the dogs pull them around. It was beautiful. So anyway, we talked for a while to where I was almost late to get over here. She was so interesting, and telling me about this, I said, your dog probably could hurt your arms. It's so big. And she said she was in Home Depot in Brooksville, and honestly, this is a crazy story. She met the grandfather dog of her dog, and the people own a very famous dog training school and academy. If you're a dog person, you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about in Brooksville, Florida. So you just don't ever know who you're going to run into around here. Hey, Leica, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, now I'm going to get in with a darker green, and I just want to, that may not be the green I want, but let's see. I want to rinse out my brush just a little bit. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but I broke the face of my watch. I have a Charge HR, and I broke it. So I called them today and said, can you fix it for me? Of course not. You have to buy a new one. Okay. Okay, now this is just going to be a vine. And I need to get that thinner if it's going to work out for me. Thinner, like a lettering thinner. So good to have you, Leica. Glad you're here. Thought you might have been going out of town. I bet, now Leica's along with the mothers who are expecting their families to come home from school, just like my daughter is. Leica lives, I don't know where your daughter goes to college, but I know you're going to be happy to see her. So maybe you'll get some of those projects that you've been talking about doing with her. That would be great. And I'm going to try to paint into these little grooves here. If you haven't seen this project before, we are painting in a dough bowl. And I don't know where these dough bowls came from, but I was really happy. Babysitting yesterday. Okay. Well, glad you're back. You were missed. But I know you mothers that have family away at school are getting ready to make their favorite dishes when they come home. There was something I was in the middle of saying. I know that. This doesn't take very long, but this project was short because we only had like 3 days this week that we could paint it. So now, if you have any requests for next week, let me know. If not, I've got something in mind that I'm going to show you, which will be an excellent gift for Christmas on the level of beginner, not advanced. So you could start telling people about this, telling them this is an excellent show to watch if you're into crafts, but especially if you like painting. And I'm just kidding. I'm really just kidding. Okay, behind me over here, let me see. Where did I put them? Oh, over here. Oh, over here is the gloss paints that I use. Those are different than my acrylic paints, which I keep in an entirely separate place. They cost a little bit more, but that isn't the reason I keep them in a separate place. They do something extra. They provide a little bit of gloss to the project, and they just make the finish look a little bit better. After this dries, I will coat it. I'll spray 2 coats of polyurethane, probably Krylon. I have a choice of gloss or matte. Because this is a matte bowl, I'm probably going to paint the matte color. Yesterday, someone did it, and it kind of stunk up this room for the players. We have card players that come in at night. So they were probably asphyxiated very well. I didn't mean for that to happen, but I pulled out the paint and I said, just go outside and paint this, and then bring it inside and let it dry a little bit before you take it with you. Now, I just want to say this is an excellent class. Everyone enjoyed it. I didn't hear any negative comments. We all have a good time when we get together here, but they especially do here because I tell such funny jokes. That is not true. I don't tell funny jokes. I tell jokes, but somehow they're not that funny. Anyway, if I didn't say it before, thank you very much for being here. I teach fun art, not fine art. So if you came here and you say, that lady is a nutso, she doesn't know. Hey, Amanda, I'm not nutso. I just really have a good time. And I also use this opportunity when I'm painting to meditate, which painting is awesome for that. And I also use this time just to think about things like this week. You'd think particularly about things you're grateful for. Now, I am talking to you from Florida Grand Motor Coach Resort in Webster, Florida. My husband and I are full-time RVers, and we have been, believe it or not, for 12 years. We sold our home in Green Cove Springs, Florida, and we started traveling to see as much of America as we could while we could. And we stay here every season, and this is where I teach ARTitude adjustment while we're here. Once a month, usually, unless something special comes up, and then I'll teach twice a month. Okay. Really, that turned out pretty good, didn't it? Yeah, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just glad whenever something happens. Hey, Kelly. Oh gosh, happy Thanksgiving, Kelly. I wish I had some of your good cooking. Kelly is a cook. Okay. Let me think of some things that Kelly has that are really good. Everything. We'll be leaving here tomorrow and being with a family in Little Lake Weir, which is about 30 or 40 miles from here, and then we'll come back here on Saturday, not so far away. Also, if you're ever in this area, there is entertainment. Well, there's entertainment all over the place, but there's entertainment at a place called Orange Blossom Opry, which is on Lake Weir. lots of things around there. There's also a horse farm that let me think of what they do. It's like the lady is like the 3-in-1, the kind that you are on the carriage ride, and she has stirrups and she races them. She's like an Olympic, or she was an Olympic winner. Okay, now I don't know if I will do anything to this except maybe put, I know what I'll do. This may be impossible. Okay. Now, I'm just going to touch up something with my small brush. And if I do that, it'll probably drip. I will be back here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, just like every day. And I hope y'all will let me know where you're finding real good prices on turkeys. Not that I would be able to find them here. Oh, we're getting ready for Black Friday, that's right. And I'm going to go home today. I have a cake I'm going to bake. And, you know, so this has got to dry. I'm going to let it dry overnight before I spray it. And then tomorrow we'll see it again. Okay, so there. That isn't what we wanted to see. Let me show you this. Now we're going to go in, and I'll show you that. I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. If you didn't hear me say it, I'm Marty Whitney with ARTitude Adjustment. And I'm here every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'd like to thank you all for being here. I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving if you're going to be on the road tomorrow. And just remember, it's a great day to have a great day. Y'all be good now. Bye-bye.